Welcome to the world of container gardening, a realm where space constraints become a non-issue. This is the magic of container gardening. It's a revolution in the way we think about growing food, and it's making gardening accessible to everyone, no matter where they live or how much outdoor space they have. Container gardening is a versatile approach to growing plants that uses containers, instead of traditional in-ground beds. This method provides the freedom to grow a wide range of vegetables, fruits, herbs, and even decorative plants in a limited space. From apartment balconies to tiny backyards, container gardening transforms any space into a green oasis. But the advantages of this style of gardening go beyond just saving space. It is also a great solution for those who deal with soil that is too rocky, sandy, or clayey. With container gardening, you have complete control over the soil your plants grow in. You can tailor it to provide the perfect conditions for each plant type, ensuring they have the nutrients they need to thrive. Another benefit of container gardening is the ease of mobility. You can move your plants around to take advantage of changing sunlight conditions, or even bring them indoors when the weather turns harsh. This flexibility can lead to healthier plants and more productive yields. Not to mention, growing your own food is not only rewarding, but also promotes a healthier lifestyle. Imagine biting into a juicy tomato or sprinkling fresh basil on your pasta, knowing that it came from your own little garden. It's a feeling of accomplishment that's hard to beat, and let's not forget the aesthetic appeal. Container gardens are a feast for the eyes. They add charm and character to your living space. You can play around with different plant combinations, container shapes, and arrangements to create a garden that reflects your personal style. So yes, container gardening is indeed a game changer. It's an innovative way to overcome space restrictions, poor soil conditions, and unpredictable weather, all while enjoying the pleasures of growing your own food. Now that you know what container gardening is, let's dive into the practical side of things. First things first, selecting the right container is crucial. This may sound like a simple step, but it's more than just picking out a pretty pot. The world of container gardening offers a wide range of options, each with its own unique advantages. For those working with limited space, pots are a classic choice. They're versatile, portable, and come in an almost infinite array of shapes, sizes, and colors. Then we have hanging baskets, a fantastic option for those looking to add a vertical dimension to their garden. They're perfect for herbs and trailing plants, creating a waterfall of greenery that can transform a bare wall or balcony into a lush oasis. For those looking to maximize their space even further, there's the vertical planter. These clever designs allow you to grow multiple plants in a single structure, stacking one container on top of the other. It's like a high-rise apartment building for your plants. But it's not just about picking the right type of container. There's also the matter of size. You see, the depth of your container is directly linked to the health of your plants. A container that's too shallow can restrict root growth, while one that's too deep can lead to waterlogged soil. As a general rule, aim for a container that's at least as deep as the plant's mature height. And let's not forget about drainage. It's crucial for ensuring your plants don't drown in excess water. Many containers come with drainage holes pre-drilled, but if yours doesn't, don't be afraid to grab a drill and make your own. Just be sure to place a saucer or tray underneath to catch any excess water. So, whether you're drawn to the classic charm of a terracotta pot, the space-saving efficiency of a vertical planter, or the cascading beauty of a hanging basket, there's a container out there to suit your needs. And remember, the key to a successful container garden lies in choosing the right container. Now that we have our containers ready, it's time to choose what to grow. The beauty of container gardening lies in its flexibility. You're not limited by soil type or climate, and with the right care, you can grow just about anything in a pot. But some plants are better suited to this lifestyle than others. Firstly, let's talk about tomatoes. A classic choice for container gardening, tomatoes are not only delicious but also incredibly rewarding to grow. Compact varieties like Patio Choice, Tumbling Tom, and Tiny Tim are perfect for small spaces. They don't grow too tall and their cascading branches look fantastic spilling over the sides of a pot. But remember, tomatoes are sun lovers, so make sure they get at least 6 hours of sunlight a day. Then we have peppers. Sweet or hot, peppers are a brilliant addition to your container garden. They have shallow roots, which makes them ideal for pots. Compact varieties like Mini Bell, Mohawk, and Basket of Fire are particularly well suited to container life. Like tomatoes, peppers need plenty of sun and consistent watering to thrive. If you're a salad lover, you can't go wrong with lettuce. It's fast growing, and you can harvest the outer leaves as the plant continues to grow. This cut-and-come-again method means you'll have a steady supply of fresh greens throughout the season. Look for compact varieties like Little Gem or Tom Thumb, and consider growing a mix of different types for a colorful and diverse salad bowl. And let's not forget herbs. Most herbs are perfect for container gardening. Basil, chives, parsley, mint and thyme are just a few examples. They're small, easy to grow, and with a few snips you can add fresh flavors to your meals. Plus, they're great for companion planting, which means they can help deter pests from your other plants. Now a quick tip. When choosing plants, consider their growth habits. Some plants, like tomatoes and peppers, are upright growers, which means they'll grow tall and need support. Others, like many herbs and lettuces, are bushy or trailing, which means they'll spread out or cascade over the sides of the pot. And finally, don't be afraid to experiment. Part of the fun of container gardening is trying new things and learning as you go. So go ahead, plant that exotic pepper variety you've always wanted to try, or that unusual herb you've seen in the gourmet grocery store. Choosing the right crops can make your container garden a colorful and fruitful endeavor. Just remember, the key to successful container gardening is to choose plants that you love and that suit your lifestyle. So pick your plants, roll up your sleeves, and let's get planting. With our containers and crops ready, it's time to get our hands dirty. Planting your chosen crops in your selected containers may seem like a straightforward task, but there are certain techniques that can help ensure your plants thrive. The first step, of course, is preparing your soil. You'll want to use a good quality potting mix, which is lighter and fluffier than garden soil and allows for better drainage. This is especially important in container gardening, as excess water can easily lead to root rot and other problems. Next, let's talk about spacing. Overcrowding your plants can lead to poor air circulation and increased disease pressure, so it's crucial to give each plant enough room to grow. If you're planting seeds, follow the spacing instructions on the seed packet. If you're planting seedlings, make sure to give each one enough room to spread out. As a rule of thumb, leafy greens like lettuce and spinach can be planted fairly close together, while fruiting plants like tomatoes and peppers need more space. Now, let's move on to the actual planting process. To plant a seed, make a small hole in the soil with your finger, drop the seed in, and then cover it with soil. For seedlings, you'll want to dig a hole that's deep enough for the root ball, place the seedling in the hole, and then fill in around it with soil. Be sure to press the soil down gently around the seedling to remove any air pockets. Once your seeds or seedlings are planted, it's time to water. Watering deeply and thoroughly is key. Aim to keep the soil consistently moist but not waterlogged. Remember, it's better to water less often but more deeply, as this encourages the roots to grow down into the soil. Now that your plants are in their containers, it's time to think about feeding them. Most potting mixes come with some nutrients already mixed in, but these will be used up within a few weeks. After that, you'll need to start fertilizing. There are many different types of fertilizer available, so choose one that's appropriate for the type of plants you're growing. Generally, a balanced fertilizer that contains equal amounts of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium is a good choice for most vegetables and herbs. Finally, let's talk about mulching. Mulch is a layer of organic material that's spread on top of the soil. It helps retain moisture, suppress weeds, and regulate soil temperature. In a container garden, you can use materials like straw, compost, or shredded leaves as mulch. Just be sure not to pile it up against the stems of your plants, as this can cause them to rot. And there you have it, the basics of planting in a container garden. It may seem like a lot to remember, but with a little practice, these techniques will soon become second nature. And the reward, a bounty of fresh homegrown food, is well worth the effort. Remember, proper planting techniques can make or break your container garden. A garden is a living entity that needs regular care and attention. In the world of container gardening, maintenance and care are of the utmost importance. Even the most well-planned and beautifully designed garden can falter without the proper attention. So let's dive into the key aspects of maintaining a thriving container garden. Watering is one of the most fundamental aspects of gardening, and it's even more crucial in container gardening. Unlike traditional gardens where roots can reach down into the earth to find moisture, container plants are completely dependent on us for their water supply. So, how often should you water? Well, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. The frequency of watering depends on several factors, including the type of plant, the size of the container, the type of soil, and the local climate. A good rule of thumb is to water when the top inch of soil feels dry to the touch. Remember, it's better to water thoroughly and less frequently than to give your plants little sips of water every day. Next up is pest management. Just because your garden is in containers doesn't mean it's immune to pests. In fact, certain pests like aphids, spider mites, and whiteflies can be even more of a problem in container gardens. The key to managing pests is vigilance. Regularly inspect your plants for signs of pests or disease. If you spot any, act quickly. There are many organic pest control methods available, such as insecticidal soaps, neem oil, or simply removing pests by hand. Now let's talk about pruning. Pruning is an essential practice that promotes healthy growth and increases yield. It involves removing dead or diseased parts of the plant to direct energy towards the production of fruits or vegetables. It also helps to maintain the size of the plant, which is especially important in container gardening where space is at a premium. When pruning, always use a sharp, clean tool and make your cuts at a 45-degree angle to prevent water buildup and disease. Fertilizing is another crucial aspect of container gardening. Unlike traditional gardens that can draw nutrients from the earth, container plants rely entirely on what you provide. And because watering can wash away nutrients, container plants often need more frequent feeding. You can use a slow-release fertilizer at the beginning of the season and supplement with a water-soluble fertilizer every 2 weeks. Lastly, let's touch on the importance of rotation. Just as crop rotation is beneficial in traditional gardening, it's also helpful in container gardening. Rotating crops helps to prevent the buildup of pests and diseases that can occur when the same plant is grown in the same pot year after year. It also helps to maintain soil health by varying the nutrients that are drawn from the soil. In conclusion, maintaining a container garden may seem like a lot of work, but it's truly a labor of love. Each time you water, prune, or fertilize, you're not only helping your plants to thrive, but you're also engaging in a rewarding and therapeutic activity. And remember, gardening is a journey, not a destination. It's about learning, experimenting, and growing along with your garden. With regular care and maintenance, your container garden will thrive, and the rewards of fresh, homegrown produce are well worth the effort. Happy gardening. The best part of gardening is enjoying the fruits of your labor. And that's not just a figure of speech. There's something truly gratifying about plucking a ripe tomato, crisp lettuce, or fragrant basil right from your very own container garden. It's an experience that tickles all your senses, from the vivid colors of the produce to the earthy aroma that fills the air during harvest. Harvesting is more than just the act of picking your produce. It's about recognizing the right time to do so. For instance, tomatoes are best picked when they're fully colored and slightly soft to the touch. Lettuce, on the other hand, can be harvested as soon as the leaves are big enough to eat. As for herbs like basil or parsley, you'll want to harvest them before they start to flower for the best flavor. And then, of course, there's the joy of using these fresh ingredients in your meals. Homegrown produce has a flavor that's simply unmatched by anything you'd buy at the store. You can literally taste the sun, the soil, and all the care you've put into growing these plants. It's an experience that goes beyond just eating. It's about savoring the fruits of your hard work and enjoying the connection with nature that gardening provides. Imagine starting your day with a breakfast salad, made with fresh lettuce and cherry tomatoes picked right from your balcony. Or how about a homemade pizza for dinner, topped with basil and peppers from your very own garden? The possibilities are endless, and each dish is a celebration of your gardening journey. Yet the enjoyment of container gardening goes beyond the kitchen. It's about the sense of accomplishment you get from successfully growing your own food. It's about the calm and tranquility that comes with tending to your plants. It's about the wonder of watching a tiny seed grow into a flourishing plant. And it's about the joy of sharing your harvest with loved ones and seeing their faces light up with delight as they taste the fruits of your labor. So whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Embrace the journey of container gardening, from sowing the seeds to harvesting the produce. Enjoy the process and relish the rewards. Container gardening is more than just a hobby. It's a lifestyle that brings joy, satisfaction, and a bounty of fresh produce right at your fingertips. And with the right knowledge and a bit of patience, anyone can transform their small space into a thriving garden. So go ahead, plant those seeds, nurture those seedlings, watch them grow and flourish. And when the time comes, harvest your produce with pride. Because after all, nothing beats the taste of homegrown produce, fresh from your own container garden. Container gardening is a journey, not a destination. It's a mantra that encapsulates the essence of what we've been discussing throughout this video. It's not about reaching some kind of gardening utopia. It's about the process, the learning, the experimenting, and the satisfaction that comes from nurturing something from a seed to a flourishing plant. So, let's take a moment to revisit the key points we've discussed. First, we delved into the concept of container gardening and its benefits. It's a method that allows anyone, regardless of their living situation, to experience the delight of growing their own food. Whether you're in a tiny apartment or a spacious house with a small yard, container gardening is a viable and rewarding option. Next, we discussed the importance of selecting the right containers. We emphasized the versatility of this approach, showcasing pots, hanging baskets, and vertical planters. The key takeaway here is to ensure your chosen container has adequate drainage and soil depth. It's a simple yet crucial element that can significantly impact the health and productivity of your plants. Then we moved on to choosing your crops. Remember, not all plants are created equal when it comes to container gardening. Some thrive in these conditions while others struggle. We highlighted popular and compact choices like tomatoes, peppers, lettuce, and a variety of herbs. Experiment with these and don't be afraid to try new things. Our conversation then shifted to planting techniques. Remember the importance of proper spacing, soil preparation, and the initial care of your seeds or seedlings. This initial stage of planting can set the tone for the growth and development of your plants. And don't forget the importance of watering, fertilizing, and mulching in maintaining the health of your plants. Maintenance and care formed the next part of our discussion. Regular care is paramount to a successful container garden. We provided guidance on watering schedules, pest management, and pruning techniques. Remember, a little attention each day can go a long way in ensuring the health and productivity of your plants. Finally, we touched on the joy of harvesting and enjoying the fruits of your labor. There's nothing quite like the taste of homegrown herbs and vegetables, and we hope this video has inspired you to experience this joy for yourself. Now, as we wrap up, let's briefly discuss potential problems and solutions. Pests can be a common issue in container gardening. If you spot any signs of infestation, it's crucial to act fast. Use organic insecticides or introduce beneficial insects to your garden. Overwatering or underwatering can also lead to unhealthy plants. Keep an eye on your plants and adjust your watering schedule as needed. And remember, it's okay to make mistakes. Each failed plant or unsuccessful harvest is a learning opportunity. Gardening, after all, is a journey of trials, errors, and triumphs. So don't get disheartened. Instead, use these experiences to grow and improve. To conclude, container gardening offers a unique opportunity to grow your own food, even in the smallest of spaces. It's a journey filled with learning, experimentation, and immense satisfaction. So don't wait. Start planning your container garden today. Gather your containers, choose your plants, prepare your soil, and get planting. Remember, the joy of gardening is in the journey. So get started on your container gardening adventure today.